I got to keep my head on a swivel this morning because this spider has not been seen. You can see its web though kind of right behind me, and that is drawing a lot of sightseers here to Beacon Hill.
Most people are afraid of spiders. They hide in dark corners, creep around, and make webs that get all over your face. Get the facts about these creepy crawly species and find out exactly where they live so you can plan your vacation accordingly. Here are the top 20 biggest spiders in the world.
Some individuals cringe even at the utterance of spiders, while for others, they are irresistibly attracted as moths to a flame towards these fascinating animals. Thus, we begin an exciting journey looking at the 20 biggest spiders inhabiting our globe. As we dive into this discovery, our journey promises nothing short of spectacular. Imagine a spider whose sheer size and hunting prowess will leave you astonished. Scary, right? Well, it's not just its looks that make it remarkable that creatures have proven to be masters of survival, even in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of these deadly insects? The Mexican bloodleg tarantula. One of the most remarkable tarantula species is native to the scrublands and arid areas of Mexico's Pacific coast. Scientifically known as Aphanopelma bicoloratum, the Mexican bloodleg tarantula shows striking black with vibrant orange legs, which give it blood-red-colored features. A gentle creature, this has grown in popularity with arachnophiles, reaching a leg span of 5 inches with its body growing up to 3 inches in length. Native to Mexico, burrowing spiders spend most of their time in underground dens, venturing at night to hunt insects and small invertebrates. Females can live up to 25 years, while males live up to 7 years, placing them as some of the longer-lived spiders. Their populations have become threatened due to habitat destruction and the pet trade, which has put them on the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Curiously, Mexican bloodleg tarantulas flick when threatened, urticating very irritating hairs. They can cause severe skin irritation to U.S. humans. Their extraordinary appearance and docile nature would make it interesting to study the subjects from a conservation perspective to preserve these great creatures. Now that we've met the stunning Mexican bloodleg tarantula, prepare to shift your perspective as we dive into the world of a spider that may not boast the same size, but certainly captivates with its unique elegance and fascinating adaptations. Get ready to discover the mysterious charm of the daddy longlegs, where every long leg tells a story of survival and intrigue. Daddy longlegs, interesting arachnids, small compared to other 8-legged companions, make up for their relatively small structures with incredibly long appendages and very minute bodies. These 3.5-inch arachnids make up for their lack of substantiality with their impressively long legs, which are also extremely slender, contrasted with petite bodies. The family Phalangidae is known for its optical acrobatics, having learned the grand art of visual deception. Their fantastically elongated, spindly legs often reach a length of more than 2 inches, creating an amazing appearance far over their actual size. It is a sight to see arachnids with the most fantastic stilts known to the arachnid world. Yet beneath these flimsy, airy exteriors lies a storehouse of wonders. From their long limb extension to their ingenious predatory tactics, the daddy longleg spiders are the very embodiment of nature's wonder. While they may not intimidate anyone into frightened respect, surely these arachnids rate highly among the more intriguing species in the animal kingdom. Desert blonde tarantula. The desert blonde tarantula is small, approximately 5 inches long, but a very interesting arachnid due to its agreeable personality and handsome features that would surely capture your heart. With 3 additional pairs of eyes, it may look intimidating upon first view. However, the 8-legged creature is, in fact, gentle and far less aggressive than its Mexican redney cousin. These spiders, members of the Theraphosidae family, are rather common inhabitants of the desert regions of Arizona and adjacent areas in Mexico. Their pale, fuzzy bodies make them a blonde tarantula. At the same time, their darker limbs and abdomen possess low venom toxicity, giving rise to remarkable longevity and heavy offspring. These arachnids are fascinating specimens that range in size from 3 to 5 inches and are often seen burrowing in desert soil, especially during the summer rainy season in southwestern desert landscapes. Females and males look very different, as if they come from different worlds. Whereas females are uniformly tan in color, males display sleek black limbs and a bright ruddy red abdomen, which creates an interesting duet for the tarantula kingdom. What really sets them apart, however, is that their venom is very mild and they are generally very docile, making them the perfect pet for any arachnid enthusiast. Golden silk orb weavers. Majesty and strength join delicacy and craftsmanship in the fanciful world of the golden silk orb weaver. These impressive araneomorph species, commonly known as Nephila, are recognized for their outstanding abilities in creating fancy cobwebs using bright yellow spider silk. This impresses and delights as the sun plays with the yellow threads, sparkling and shining like jewels, a truly magnificent sight. Mainly inhabiting Australia's beautiful forests and dunes, these amazing arachnids have learned to thrive in some of the most unique and striking landscapes this country has to offer. While many of these golden arthropods may appear smaller than anticipated, certain females can extend their impressive leg span to reach an astonishing 6 inches from tip to tip, a true marvel of nature. Within this captivating realm, one finds an intriguing dynamic evolving. Though less bulky and more agile, males depend on females even for survival, which forms another curious example of symbiosis. Mexican redney. The Mexican redney is an excellent species of arachnid. It's also referred to as Brachypelma hamorii. Native to Mexico, this 8-legged creature inhabits mainly the western slopes of the Sierra Madre Occidental and Sierra Madre del Sur mountain ranges. Native to Colima, Jalisco, and Michoacan, this impressive tarantula thrives in the deciduous tropical forests native to its range. This arachnid is a giant compared to fellow arachnids. The body of the female Mexican redney measures more than 2 inches, while the leg span of the male reaches up to 3 inches. Its size and lifespan make it very popular among arachnid enthusiasts from all parts of the globe. Being often confused with its close relative Brachypelma smithii, this species is very good at making complex burrows under logs, rocks, and tree roots. The Mexican redney, able to weave its home amongst prickly shrubs and high grasses, has adapted to the environment quite well. The California ebony tarantula. The California ebony tarantula is an interesting arachnid inhabiting the American West. It predominantly inhabits California. It reaches an impressive 5 inches in length and can extend its habitat into the neighboring states and northwestern Mexico. It also boasts a leg span of as much as 5 inches, making it a sight to behold. These nocturnal creatures do great in grassy areas where most of their time is spent underground, just waiting for some unsuspecting prey to pass by. Skilled hunters feed on insects, lizards, and even small rodents. Longevity is remarkable. Females outlive males by approximately 6 months average after the latter's maturity. The California ebony tarantulas are rather docile, considering the intimidating aspects they build in their appearance, and pose minimal threat to humans. The venom of these spiders is quite harmless and rarely used by these wonderful arachnids in defense mechanisms such as shedding irritating hairs, which would deter predators both in the wild and in captivity. The California ebony tarantula remains a spider that can charm and educate anybody willing to spend enough time learning its fascinating life cycle and habits. As we leave the enchanting California ebony tarantula behind, let's turn our attention to another stunning arachnid that can blend in while still standing out, the Mexican fireleg. This little marvel may be small, but its vibrant colors and captivating behavior are anything but ordinary. Mexican fireleg. The Brachypelma, better known as the Mexican fireleg, is found in the arid scrublands of Guerrero, Mexico. The little 5-inch spider is a master of disguise and spends much of its time buried underground. Like its cousins, it has its own surprise in store, a defense mechanism of irritating hairs that only trigger when attacked. Just picture this beautiful animal, a spider dressed to impress in orange and black. Indeed, this is the Mexican fireleg. Though it does possess the same basic coloration as its more famous cousin, the Mexican redney, it certainly has its own twist on the theme. The legs are quite striking, having a brilliant red coloration at the knees that softly fades into a more gentle orange before darkening to sleek black feet. For all its visual charms, however, this tarantula is quite docile. But when threatened, it gets a little melodramatic, threatening would-be predators with those pesky hairs. These spiders are also remarkable for their longevity. The males mature at roughly 7 or 8 years of age, the females slightly later, often between 9 or 10 years. Curiously, where the male's lifespan post-maturity is short, about 1 year, females will go on to rule for another 10 years. Arava huntsman spider. The big spider that inhabits the Middle East deserts is called Arava. It is a fantastic 5.5 inches long and is considered a giant among all 8-legged animals. Due to its striking size, it can attack bigger than usual prey, even small reptiles. Being the undisputed champion of its kind in the region, this animal holds the proud title of the largest spider throughout the entire Middle Eastern territory. A fearsome creature of the relentless conditions of the desert landscape with extreme hardiness, it has evolved ingenious survival skills. It then makes its dwelling in the dunes themselves, digging into extensive networks of underground dens with hidden openings that protect it from predators and the sun's blistering heat. And of course, when night falls, Arava develops into an unmerciful hunter. Its menu ranges from diverse insect species to strikingly small reptiles. Its dominancy and territory makes this spider an astonishing example of how different creatures can adjust even to the harshest conditions of existence. Costa Rican zebra spider. Speaking of arachnology, the Costa Rican zebra tarantula is out of this world. This intriguing 8-legged animal is otherwise famously known as the striped knee tarantula. It has won the hearts of many arachnid lovers all over the world. Its appearance is much more like that of a zebra, hence making it very famous. The subtle interplay between the dark, velvety fur and shining white stripes is definitely a treat to watch. As a matter of fact, much more lies beyond this mysterious creature's striking looks. One of the intriguing things about the zebra tarantula is their perfect adaptation to most settings. These versatile animals love digging and are thus seen to thrive well under conditions that enable them to construct subterranean homes, rivaling human architects in their sophistication. Their burrowing skill is no less than remarkable, with proficiency and perseverance that make the most accomplished tunnelers very ashamed. While their docile nature would make one think these spiders are harmless creatures, appearances can in fact be quite deceiving. Should they be threatened somehow, the zebra tarantula actually reveals a surprisingly diverse set of defensive capabilities. They may release irritating hairs or take up an intimidating pose, both ways basically telling any oncoming predator to back off. But no matter how intimidating their posture may be, they rarely bite unless they are mishandled. These long-lived arachnids include females capable of up to 2 decades-long lives, thus being a companion across generations. Their diet is more carnivorous, mostly insects, but they are not beyond small reptiles and mammals as a rare delight. For that matter, this underground lifestyle again aids their elusive nature. However, the population has continued monitoring in natural habitats for conservation. Of course, it has to be remembered that despite their popularity as pets, there were and still remain relatively few zebra tarantulas in captivity. It is this very fact, coupled with their distinctive traits, that has considerably made them more popular. In nature and in the home of a deer owner, this spider remains somewhat mysterious, constantly bathed in mystery, but brings out a certain charm that has captured the imagination of people worldwide. Sun spiders. Now imagine finding a sun spider. So you may have heard of this odd creature. It looks as though it came from some sort of science fiction movie. Its body can be almost as long as your hand, and it seems like the legs just go on and on. This 8-legged wonder is much more interesting than one might first imagine. Whereas they may look intimidating with their outsized mandibles and hairy bodies, sun spiders are quite timid creatures wanting to avoid a fight. Their main goal is to chase after crickets and beetles, not to frighten humans. Living in the desert, the sun spiders are experts in camouflage, for their sandy coloration allows them to perfectly camouflage into the surroundings and hence to win in hide-and-seek games. But do not be fooled by politeness. These arachnids are really fast and agile. Unlike most spiders, which use webs, sun spiders try to overpower their prey using pure, quick reflexes. So, next time anyone mentions some terrifying desert monster, just know it is actually some poor, misunderstood speedster looking for its next meal. As we journey deeper into the world of arachnids, prepare to meet one of nature's most notorious predators. With a reputation that sends shivers down spines, this eight-legged menace is not just about fear, it's a master of ambush with a venomous bite that commands respect. Brazilian wandering spider. One of the most feared spiders in the world, the Brazilian wandering spider is better known as Phonutria. This is due to its powerfully toxic venom, which provokes extreme pain, muscle cramps, and even life-threatening respiratory distress. For this reason alone, it's gained quite a reputation among scientists. Not to be confused by its name, it isn't the deadliest spider in the world, but somewhat below the Sydney funnel web spider. It measures 8 inches in length and is native to South America. However, it is common in most city centers and banana plantations. Rarely does this spider use a web to catch its prey. Instead, it uses an ambush technique. Incidentally, pregnant females develop greater toxicity, although their venom has remained more potent. Fortunately, anti-venom treatment developed recently has largely reduced the mortality rate resulting from the bites of this spider, Colombian giant redleg tarantula. In the dense rainforests of Colombia, there is one remarkable arachnid species. The giant redleg tarantula, scientifically referred to as Megaphobema, commands unmissable greatness. Its presence is vivid and commands each motion. This 8-legged creature stands out among its peers. An impressive size with striking catch-all appearance makes it stand out from the rest and has given it an excellent reputation among the world's largest spiders. It is a wonder of nature with a leg span of up to 7 inches, and its body stretches up to 8 inches. Its body canvas is of dark color and strikingly contrasted with light brown and red shades. The females get very big and have demonstrated their grandeur by showing their body lengths up to 8 inches. While many refer to these spiders as docile, they are anything but predictable. Their defense behaviors are an interesting part of their nature and show that there is much more to them than meets the eye beneath a generally passive nature. They will, if threatened, engage in a characteristic bobbing motion thought by many to be a surefire warning that they will attack. In continued defense, the spider resorts to spinning, kicking its rear legs covered with thorny spikes. Interestingly, juvenile males will often assume a dramatic threat pose, not too unlike those old-world baboon spiders, fangs bared in a show of bravado. Despite these defense postures, Colombian giant redlegs are generally docile. They tend to dart away suddenly at incredible speed if they feel cornered. Insects such as crickets and roaches will suffice for feeding. Once a week or every 2 weeks is sufficient. Such remarkable creatures differ in lifespan when it comes to gender. A Colombian giant redleg can live up to 20 years in females, while the male usually lives for about 5 to 7 years. This gives it a high leg span of up to 7 inches, making it stand well above other species and secure its rightful place among the true giants in the arachnid world. Brazilian black tarantula. The Brazilian black spider is one of the exotic pets, yet an interesting pet to be kept. These arachnids are known for their non-hostile nature and their fascinating pattern of behavior. Their venom is quite harmless to humans, thus making them avoid confrontations rather than begin a fight. Brazilian black spiders are compact but more prominent than many typical 8-legged animals. For example, females can live up to 20 years. The dosages of long-term dedication are quite huge on the owner's part. Conversely, male Brazilian black spiders have a very short life in contrast to female Brazilian black spiders. Usually they survive for about 6 to 8 years. They are dry habitat spiders and nocturnal. Nocturnal spiders depend on sensory organs for hunting crickets and cockroaches. Brazilian black spiders do not depend on webs like most species would, but rely on stealth and cunning to get a catch. They attack their prey in underground burrows with a very effective bite that pumps digestive enzymes into their victim. The bite is harmless and may only cause irritation and redness in most people. People who have allergic reactions, especially to bee or wasp stings, should keep their distance to prevent possible discomfort. Choco golden knee. These eight-legged animals, now collectively referred to as GROA, an acronym for golden red-haired ornamental arachnids, have fantastic personalities. Their stunning appearance is not just gorgeous to look at. These spiders even possess very agreeable temperaments, which easily qualify them to be kept as pets by the enthusiasts. Just envision viewing a spider whose leg span alone reaches up to 8 inches, roughly the diameter of a dinner plate. Such great size is due to their ground-dwelling nature, in contrast with the web-slinging relatives who spend most of their time above. Given their small size, these little critters can still really punch above their weight in terms of great visual impact. The Choco golden knee is quite docile in nature. They just don't freak out that easily. Instead, they would love to spend their days just lounging comfortably in their enclosures, like it's some sort of arachnid penthouse apartment. Now let us enter the more interesting realm of their knees, since that is where the uniqueness of this arachnid lies. Dynamic golden stripes marking their joints make a particularly striking appearance against their dark brown bodies. These colorful markings might turn into an all-black neat display in due time, but the surprises never cease to end. Peruse closer at their bellies, and you may notice a cool, hidden pattern of black and white stripes or even a splash of yellow, depending on their gender. These spiders, as your Spider-Man, are aesthetically pleasing, but won't be high maintenance. Unlike so many of their relatives, they do not require any overtly elaborate web structures. All they really enjoy is having a comfortable bed of substrate to burrow into and maneuver around at will. King Baboon Spider. Here is the king baboon spider of the genus Pelinobius, a giant arachnid that is native to the scorching savannas of East Africa. Its color is usually rusty brown or orange, providing an ideal camouflage on the African grasslands. The earth-toned appearance does little justice to this spider's vicious reputation. Under that innocent-looking exterior lies one of the world's most fearsome spiders. A fierce predator with a serious appetite and a highly defensive streak. It has a large leg span, up to an intimidating 8 inches, and is commanded with respect from all who cross its path. Strong legs are specially adapted for digging into the complex underground layers where it will spend most of its time waiting for the fall of unsuspecting prey into its trap. Not a fussy eater when meal times come, this spider will eat everything from insects to the small vertebrates like lizards and rodents. Side note: this is a formidable arachnid best treated with caution. When threatened, the king baboon assumes a threatening stance, rearing up on its hind legs in a threatening display supported by formidable venom. While seldom lethal to humans, it's reported that its bite inflicts extreme pain. In today's subscriber's pick, we look into the Yoro spider invasive species from China, whose ability to apparently fly 100 miles of air by turning its webs into makeshift gliders has left the world speechless. There is more to these fascinating arachnids than meets the eye. These spiders have venomous fangs, but fortunately, according to scientists, the toxin inside them is quite harmless, and their mandibles aren't powerful enough to penetrate human or pet skin. Reaching lengths of 4 inches and boasting leg spans of 6 to 8 inches, these eerie creatures are pretty impressive, to say the least. Curiously enough, females come with bright coloring and a taste for their dull brown male counterparts, often eating them after mating. These gigantic arachnids are so big that they could completely cover a human hand. Now, we want to hear from you. What is the coolest thing you know about Joro spiders? Imagine one of those huge spiders showing up at your house uninvited. Do you find them fascinating, terrifying, or both? Share your remarks, reactions, and questions in the comments below. Face-sized spider. In the desolate rubble of Sri Lanka's forsaken buildings, an unlikely dweller silently rises to dominance. While the flora indoors shrivel up and die, these resilient spiders somehow make sure to thrive, creating elaborate webs to claim the dilapidated buildings as their territory. This is no ordinary 8-legged animal. Instead, this is a spider whose leg span could easily cover an entire human face with its diameter of 8 to 11 inches. Its gigantic size brings out its terrifying nature as a predator. It feeds on reptiles, rodents, snakes, and birds. According to scientists, this monster lurks in dark places, ready to pour upon any potential prey at a very rapid speed. The discovery of this oversized tarantula, significantly christened due to its facial structure, recalls an adventure worthy of Indiana Jones. Local villagers in Mankalam first stumbled upon a dead specimen. They gave it to Sri Lanka's Biodiversity Educational and Research Institution because it was extraordinary. The scientific world knew they had something new, totally new species. Determined to find it, a team went on a dangerous journey through treacherous rainforests, skirting civil strife in hot pursuit of this mythical monster. Finally, their persistence paid off. The living Poecilotheria was not found haunting the wilds, but was surprisingly housed in the old medical quarters of a rural clinic. What an unlikely pet! Grammostola anthracina. When first described to science in 1842 through the keen eyes of Carl Ludwig, much like a complex tapestry, the story of Grammostola anthracina's scientific discovery and taxonomic reclassifications unraveled piece by piece. He little knew that this initial classification, Mygale, would birth a taxonomic odyssey. Over the years, this enigmatic arachnid has faced many reassignments between different genera, reflecting man's learning about nature and how one of the difficult tasks is classifying life forms. These mysterious creatures, measuring roughly 11 inches in length, still remain mysterious, boasting a body length of about 45 mm and a leg span that stretches up to 28 centimeters. The Grammostola anthracina has a peculiar outline, brown-colored, with the body as a canvas carrying understated elegance, painted with patterns whispering stories of adaptation. In females especially, the spermatheca is elongated, curving graciously into rounded tips, an example of the typical characteristic that further complicates the work of the taxonomist in placing them under the proper genus. Brazilian salmon pink bird-eating tarantula. A very odd creature is the lord of the lush Atlantic forest in Brazil. The Brazilian salmon pink tarantula is a giant arachnid that reaches 11 inches in length and has impressive leg spans of 11 inches. Nature has shown its artistic expression through its sleek black body along with bright pink-red locks. Despite such a daunting size, this Brazilian salmon pink bird-eater is quite gentle-natured. Still, this polite monster should be treated with extreme caution because it possesses strong fangs and additional defense in the form of caustic hairs. This eight-legged creature is well equipped for its defense. Many enthusiasts have learned to love its peculiar appearance and non-aggressive nature. Imagine wandering through the shadowy depths of a Laotian cave and suddenly encountering a creature so massive it can rival your dinner plate. With an astonishing leg span that can stretch over a foot wide, this ghostly arachnid is not just a marvel of nature, it's a testament to the wonders lurking in the dark. Giant huntsman spider. The gigantic huntsman spider is an impressive sight from the family Sparacidae. It represents some of the mystery that will forever characterize Lao caves. Its ghostly pale, extended limbs and specific hairs on the male second foot facilitate an uncanny suitability to living in the dark. What really puts this arachnidian marvel in a class is its stupendous size. It boasts the world's greatest leg span, going up to an incredible 1 foot in diameter. The gigantic huntsman spider is so huge that it can cover a dinner plate with its limbs outstretched. Altogether, from point to point, the creature measures 11 inches. Still, this remarkable figure tends to obscure another, perhaps even more salient. Taken individually, the spider's body stretches nearly 2 inches, a formidable thing among arachnids. It is known that the huntsman spider is one of the most functional and least standardized predators of other insects. These fearsome animals do not just survive on insects, they consume members of their own species too. Such unique feeding behavior places them as apex predators in their respective ecosystems. This shows how well-adapted nature's most unlikely dwellers can be. Goliath bird eater. Among arachnids lurks a behemoth-like monster of unparalleled proportions, the Goliath bird eater. This enormous creature does not fit merely as a spider, but rather as a full-fledged arachnid superstar. Its impressive dimensions belie its innocuous appearance, since it measures 12 inches long and weighs just 6 ounces. Though of really extraordinary size, it is considered the largest spider in the world, a status which it wields with determined tenacity. Its fearsome name comes from a historical misconception, an artistic license for an 18th century engraving rather than a fact depicted another species of tarantula dining on a hummingbird. This single misunderstanding then snowballed into a succession of others, all culminating in this whole group of giant spiders being mistakenly referred to as bird-eaters. Whatever else it may be, the Goliath bird-eater is anything but a crazed avian killer, being a mild giant content to prowl through the dark with no malicious intention against its feathered brethren. Being fuzzy compared to human eyesight, it is nonetheless an exquisite optical tool that enables the spider to easily navigate around. This can often be highly supplemented with extraordinary sensitivity to the vibrations from touches detected by super-sensitive leg hairs. These delicate appendages serve as very sensitive sensors, warning the beast about lurking dangers or tempting bites in equal measure. The Goliath bird-eater conceals a surprise talent when it senses a dangerous cloud of irritating hairs. These minute barbed missiles are thrown well clear with a quick flick of the spider's legs, producing an unpleasant stinging sensation that soon sends would-be attackers looking for cover. For the female Goliaths, motherhood is a full-time occupation. They guard gigantic egg sacs full of up to 150 tiny spiderlings very carefully. It is an extremely exhausting activity that requires much time and attentive vigilance, since the females need to protect their precious offspring from potential dangers and hazards. The Goliath bird-eater stands as a testament to the ingenuity and diversity of nature. Some of its unique characteristics and fascinating behaviors turn it into an object of scientific interest and popular fascination. While we remain amazed at the plethora of wonders our natural world stores for us, such remarkable creatures remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty that surrounds us. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.